I'll just start off here. Look, fellas, I apologize if I seemed like I was a little short with you after the game. Obviously a frustrating game, down 20-0, didn't do anything well enough. I mean, there isn't really much to say at that point without watching the film. Clearly, we had problems in every area, so there was no simple answer, and every play could have been better. Every area of coaching could have been better. Every area of playing could have been better, and any of that would have helped. So, not really trying to be short, but honestly, there wasn't too much to say. I don't know that there's a whole lot more to say now, but it's not your fault. That was a frustrating game. Go ahead, Mike.
Coach, we'll open up for questions. We'll start with Mike Reese, followed by Chris Ryan.
Thanks, Bill. Just on the game, I was just going back through it. I wanted to ask you, how much consideration was there for an onside kick there? I'm looking at it right after the score to make it 2017. And were you okay with obviously you kicked it off. Was that sort of the way on the kickoff? Were you looking for a higher kickoff, deeper, or was it just sort of well returned by them the way that unfolded?
No, it was poorly executed on our part. That wasn't what we were looking for at all. I mean,
and how much
either you pin them back and play the extra yards of field position, tackle them on a 20 and gain 5 yards of field position. We need a field goal, or you touch back it and keep the extra seconds on the clock. We did neither. We didn't get the field position, and we wasted 5 seconds, which at the end of the game is another play. So, like a lot of things in the game, it was bad coaching, bad playing, bad execution, just not good enough.
And on the you lost Aguilar and Nikhil in the game, and just on those plays, any player safety concern for you on either of those?
Yeah, talk to the officials.
And then my last one is just looking ahead to the Bills. Just given the unusual nature of the conditions on December 6th, how much does that affect the value of that tape as you move forward and prepare for this game?
Yeah, certainly it affected the game. It's still valuable. I mean, it's the team we're playing 2 weeks ago, so. But, it affected the strategy in the kicking game, affected some strategy in the passing game. I don't know if it affected the running game matchups a lot. Probably not. So. But, I mean, like every game, it'll be a totally different game. So, we'll prepare and see how it plays out. I'm sure they'll do some things differently, regardless of what the weather conditions are. They would make some changes. I'm sure we would make some changes. Both teams have a game plan element to their style of play anyway, so we'll see how it goes.
Next question, Chris Ryan, followed by Nick O'Malley.
Morning, Bill. How are you?
Hey, Chris.
With the obvious preface that you preferred to win that game and find a way to win on Saturday night, are there any benefits to the type of a reset that a loss like that provides a football team?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. Again, we usually don't focus too much on what happened the week before, good or bad. After we get through it and correct it and talk about it, we focus on the game that's coming up and try to prepare the best that we can for it. So I don't think living in the past and worrying about last week's game all week and all the psychological effects and a bunch of other garbage. Like, I don't think that really has anything to do with the Buffalo game. Like, either we're going to prepare well and perform well and execute well in the game and make good decisions, coaches and players and all that, or well, we're not. I don't really know what last week or 2 weeks ago or some game in 2006 had to do with it. I don't think any of that has a lot of bearing on it. It shouldn't. I mean, maybe if the team's not prepared to handle it, it would. I don't think it should. I don't know why it should.
That was going to be my next question. Like, the guys have talked about having a 2-4 mindset during the winning streak, and do you sense that you deviated from that type of a mindset collectively of being a little more desperate, focused, detail oriented leading into that game, and could that provide opportunity to change the trajectory?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we'll have a good week of concentration and practice and execution and carry that through on Sunday, but we'll see. I don't know.
Thanks.
Next question, Nick O'Malley, followed by Ben Volen.
Chris is actually my cousin. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Nick.
I want to ask about the incident between Kyle Duggar and the receiver
Pittman.
Yes. And what you saw in that play, and what's the reaction when you start seeing tempers boil over like that, and ultimately leading to an ejection of a player like that?
Yeah, well, we've talked about those situations. We talk about them every year. We talk about them, multiple times over the course of the year. I see what happened. Not sure how anybody else will see it, so it doesn't really matter what I think anyway. But we'll go through it. Based on the rule, I don't see why T.Y. Hilton wasn't ejected. I mean, he pushed the official. That was pretty clear. But that wasn't called at all. I mean, that's a clear-cut ejection to me. But the Duggar play, Pittman comes from behind, Kyle turns around, there's an exchange, and, Pittman's helmet was off. I mean, he was trying to put his helmet on as he approached Kyle at the end of the play, so it came up pretty quickly. I don't know, whether Kyle knocked it off or would it come off anyway or whatever, but, bottom line is both players got ejected. And I would say I understand that. Whether I agree with it or not, that's a whole nother discussion. I don't understand why T.Y. Hilton wasn't ejected for contacting an official, intentionally or unintentionally. That has no bearing on the play. And those plays are reviewable and are reviewed. So I don't understand that when you'd have to talk to the officials about that. They were the ones that made the call.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Next question, Ben Volen, followed by George Belichick.
Morning, Bill. With Omicron going around like crazy, are you guys taking any extra precautions this week? What do you expect this week to be like preparation-wise with that stuff going on?
Ben, I'd say every day is a new day. I don't think any of us know what to expect. We're following the league rules and protocols, which have been significantly enhanced or, been more restrictive, which I think we all understand, but we have to make adjustments and be in compliance with them. And, we put up a wall in our weight room over the weekend and things like that to be in compliance like we did last year. So what this week will bring, I don't know. Again, I don't really have any say in this. but we'll continue to do the best that we can to keep everybody as safe and distanced and masked and protected as we can. It's certainly an imperfect situation with on multiple levels. So what are we doing? I think we're doing the best that we can. We're doing all that we can. It's not perfect. Will it be good enough? Will it be good? I mean, we'll see. I mean, every day you kind of walk in here, and if our medical people came in one day and said we had 20 people positive, I don't think any of us would be surprised. It's nice to hear that we have no positives or we have no symptoms. Those are great words to hear, but I don't think it would surprise any of us if, I mean, we've already seen, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 teams, whatever it is, have a wide ranging problem on their team between staff and players or both. And who's next? I don't know. Maybe nobody, but it wouldn't surprise me for it to be anybody.
Are you guys mostly virtual this week, or are you able to do meetings, anything in person other than practice, of course?
Right. So the league rules came out to go through today, and so I would expect some type of direction either today or tomorrow as to what it'll be this week. So that's a check with the league.
Gotcha. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Next question, George Bilecki, followed by Phil Perry.
Hey, Bill, going back to Saturday real quick, can you just explain the decision why to kick a field goal when you were down 2 possessions with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter?
So I thought that was the best thing for the team at that point.
What makes that the best decision for the team at that point?
Cut it to a 1-possession game.
It was after kicking the field
Oh,
goal.
you're talking about when it went from 20, yeah, to make it,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fine.
Yeah, well, it's still a 2-possession game, and now it's a field goal, and I thought there was enough time left that we would, have enough possessions to be able to score 10 points, which, we conceivably could have. It would have been, was 4th and goal on the 7. Is that what it would have been?
Yeah, when you kicked it and it became 20-7, it was 4th and goal from the 7.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I didn't feel great about converting 4th and goal from the 7. Had there been less time and, it's a situation, but there's a point where you would go for it, or I would go for it on 4th and goal at the 7. Absolutely. I didn't think in that game situation that would have been the best decision. I thought that would have, passed up 3 points and then it would have taken 2 touchdowns and, at the end of the game, being able to, especially in a dome, have a chance at a 50-plus yard field goal. I think it's a lot better chance than scoring a touchdown, and having a 6-point differential as opposed to a 3-point differential relative to the chances of converting the 4th and 7. But at some point, I definitely would have kept the offense on the field in 4th and 7 with less time or no timeouts, or you can certainly take that scenario further, and so then you get into the gray area of which one would you do if it was less time, fewer timeouts, whatever.
Gotcha. Thank you very much for clearing that up.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next question, Phil Perry.
Hey, Bill, wanted to just ask you about Mac, and I know you have seen him in a lot of different situations going back to training camp and through, 14 games now. But I don't know if the situation has, if he's really seen that many situations in terms of being down as many points as you guys were early in that game. Maybe the Saints game is the closest thing. I just wanted to ask you, though, if you learned anything about Mac and how he handled the, mostly the second half of that game.
Yeah, I mean, To me, until you get to the very end of the game, it's really not about the score. It's about the execution of the play that's called, and trying to run good plays. So, I mean, you're not going to score 17 points in one drive. You're not going to score 17 points on one play. So, I mean, I don't personally see what that has to do with it. Now, there's a point where, yeah, the score and the amount of time left and the number of possessions left and all that, then that dictates the strategy. But I mean, we've been in other games where we've been behind, and they scored 17 points in the first half. I mean, I didn't feel like we were incapable of scoring 17 points in the second half, but whether they were up by 10 or down by 17, or it's about going out there and having good plays, making good decisions as a coach, calling good plays, executing good plays, one play at a time, and try to get the game back to a competitive game. So, yeah, I don't until the game gets to the point where it's the strategy now becomes overriding, which I didn't think it was like that at halftime at all. Then I don't really. I mean, what difference does it make?
And the last question will be Tara Sowell.
Hey, Bill, I hope you don't mind indulging kind of a historical question, but you were talking, just talking about game plans and matchups. Would you share any memories of what's considered one of your greatest game plans ever, which I know goes all the way back to 1990 in the Super Bowl against the Bills? And the reason I ask is just if it stayed with you in a way that it taught you about, doing something so against the grain, or just something that stayed with you over the years since then.
All right. Well, I appreciate the question, Tara, but as I've said many, many times, going all the way back to when I was a coordinator, so that would start back in 79, special teams with the Giants. Any success that we've had in the kicking game as a coordinator, on defense as a coordinator, as a head coach, is because the players went out there and made the plays to help us win the game. And you can exit on it all you want, but in the end, players win games. Players make plays to win games. And without good players, making good plays, there's not a lot of games to be won. So whatever strategy or game plans or plays that we used, whatever they were in any game, ultimately comes down to the players and their execution and decision making and fundamentals on those plays. And that's really where I think the credit in those games goes and should go, because they're the ones that are doing it. And I've been very, very fortunate through my career to coach a lot of good players, some great players, some of the greatest players in the history of the game, and a lot of very, very good players and good role players and players that complemented each other. And whatever games we won, whatever success we had, was the result of those players and their fundamentals, their decision making, and their overall level of execution and awareness, and in some cases communication. In a lot of cases communication, because of the teamwork and the involvement of multiple players on successful plays. It's not one guy doing it. It has to be a whole offensive line blocking, or a defensive front seven stopping the run, or a coverage and a pass rush working together, or blocking on a punt return, or whatever it happens to be. So that's my view of the world on that. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together. Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together. When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to